Hi, my name is Jae Lin, and I use they and them pronouns. I am the visual arts curator and board president for Gender Unbound. We are a arts and community and advocacy organization that really works on cultivating community among trans and intersex artists by putting on events throughout the year to really celebrate and uplift all the brilliance and creativity that already exists within our community. For the past 4 years, we have been putting on these in person, multi day, multidisciplinary art festivals featuring exclusively trans and intersex artists across, film, visual art, performance, music, poetry, all of that. And it's a brilliant and beautiful event here in Austin that we host every year where we really try to uplift the community, try to center trans and intersex creatives and performers and artists and everything in between, and build a space where trans and intersex folks, artists or not, can really feel a sense of community, a sense of joy and pride, where our voices and stories and experiences and expressions are truly centered, truly spotlighted in this space that really is created by and created for trans and intersex artists. So in 2020, we were going into our fifth year. It's a nice round number. We were really, really excited to go into it and try to make it even bigger and better, building on what we had created before. But of course, very early on, even in March, as things were closing down for what was to be a pandemic, we really wanted to, even though we love this festival and even though we had so many of our sights and hopes set on creating like just another experience like previous Gender Unbounds, we decided that for the safety of our community and also in support of our community in a more immediate sense, we decided not to go forward with the festival. We didn't feel like by the time September rolled around, things would feel safe again. And we also knew that so many trans and intersex people were losing work or facing kind of new measures of instability. And that like support was needed a little bit more immediately to a little bit different scale. And so by canceling the in-person event, we were able to shift online and also shift some resources that we would have otherwise spent on an in-person event to compensate artists even further than what we usually do. So what came out of that was kind of two-pronged. First, we wanted to commission new work from visual artists all across America. We did have to limit it, although normally we are an international festival. We did limit it to just the States this year because of shipping things, and and this is something we've never done before. We usually ask artists to show existing art that they've made already. They submit it through our application, and we jury to curate a gallery of works that we feel like really speaks to each other and really highlights the range of talent across our community. But this year, because we wanted to pay artists a little bit more, we decided to do commissions for kind of a sliding scale of name your own price work from $200 to $600. So we again juried a bunch of artists, but this time to create new art rather than to accept existing works. And yeah, we were able to commission, I believe, a total of 38 visual artists. All just to create new work around a theme of home. We were spending a lot of time at home all of the sudden, and we're just really reflecting on these ideas of home with our body, with our communities, leaving home, with losing home, and with creating home, just all as like these really unique and special experiences for trans and intersex people. So that gallery of commissioned art, we were just blown away by how much talent we saw and what beautiful things people created. And we now have a 3D gallery that is up through the month of September, where you can actually walk through this virtual gallery space and look at all the art and see how they speak to each other. We requested artist statements from each of the artists, and so you can read how it was to make the piece, and also how it spoke around the theme of home to them. And it's so special. The virtual gallery will be up through the month of September, but even beyond September, we always have the artists that we feature up on our website, genderunbound.org, and you'll be able to see the artwork they created under each artist's listing forever. So yeah, but I really recommend checking that out during the month of September if you can, because it's really, really special. And we felt really happy with this project as a way to offer financial resources to trans and intersex artists in kind of the more immediate short term, as well as hopefully convey a sense that for trans and intersex artists, like, your art is so valued, your art is so desired, and we see such a purpose in it, and we hope that they felt like they could find at least a little bit of purpose in creating this work as well. The second prong of our virtual showcase that we're trying to pull off this year in lieu of our in-person festival is the online live streams that we're going to be doing every Saturday throughout September. So every Saturday from 4 to 5 p.m. Central Time, we are in Austin after all. We'll be streaming on Facebook and YouTube. Just a wonderful showcase of poets and performers and musicians, and as well as like interviewing artists and talking about the work, and just really hopefully creating an in-person online space where we can come together and just celebrate each other. So I really hope that folks can tune into that and feel a sense of community, even though we can't be physically present with each other this year. Believe me when we say we miss our community so much, now more than ever, and it is incredibly incredibly tender and a little heartbreaking not to be with the people we expect to see at Gender Unbound every year. But we're really excited, so grateful for the performers and poets that are able to join us this year. And just, again, happy to support financially and emotionally, and through community support and community outreach and exposure. In all of those ways, these really truly brilliant performers and poets. So you can find all of those. We have a schedule up on genderunbound.org/live, where the live streams will also be embedded when they're live in real time. And the recordings for each of these, though they'll no longer be in-person spaces, the recordings will be stored forever on our YouTube and Facebook pages, which you can find links to as well on our website. I really hope to see y'all in chat. I think art spaces for trans and intersex people can be incredibly powerful and life-affirming in this really special way that I feel is really palatable every time we come together. There is something special to the way that, by uplifting the artwork and expression of trans and intersex people, we're really giving trans and intersex folks this spotlight on their stories, where they get to control their narrative, and they get agency over their narrative, in a way that is so often stolen from trans and intersex folks, right? So many times it's, even when we are asked to speak or share or show a piece or create a piece, in other spaces that might not be by and for trans and intersex folks, it is often, we often feel pressure to do it through another person's lens, or with the experience of a cis person in mind, or have things twisted or shaped in a way that doesn't truly honor our experiences and our voices, and our stories. So in these queer, trans, intersex, brilliant spaces, we really get this like special freedom and this special affirmation and validation that our stories matter just the way we tell them, and the art we create and the way we express our humanity and dignity and beauty really, really, really just is so meaningful and so so affirming of each other and our community, just the way we show up. And I think that can be incredibly life affirming, and also just to be in community space where we're all like feeling that freedom, and we're all lifting each other up, or working through hard stuff, or struggling to share space sometimes. But even in that dissonance, as we come together and as we come to try to build connection, I think it can be incredibly powerful. And so art in that way has just a particular and a really special way to uplift trans and intersex voices and people and experiences. And kind of along those lines of like how meaningful and powerful it can be to create these spaces for ourselves, right, by and for trans and intersex artists, I think a side effect of that is, because we do make these spaces public, because we do show the artwork publicly, and that is part of our mission and part of kind of our vision for these spaces, is that we create a space to really center trans and intersex voices and experience. It's all about us, by and for. But at the same time, we invite allies and other community members, queer folks who might not be trans, straight folks who might not be trans, and beyond, endosex folks who might be trans or might not be trans. Everyone else who cares and loves trans and intersex folks are also welcome in these spaces. And part of creating such a powerful space is that it, of course, first and foremost, has this like just really tangible feeling of support and uplift for our community. But it can also be this this really unique space for cis and endosex or non-intersex folks to witness trans and intersex folks' stories and voices and artwork in a way that likely they're not able to find in many other spaces, again, because of the way that the cis gaze, or kind of this other kind of narrative that non-trans and non-intersex people try to put our work and words into so often. So I really hope also even for folks who are not trans or intersex, that these spaces and the work that Gender Unbound does can also have a profound impact on this unique opportunity to view trans and intersex folks in a space where they have a lot more freedom, and where we have the agency to tell our own stories, and share our own artwork the way that we want to share it. So I think that's my greatest hope for consumers and witnesses and allies, and folks watching our work, even if not participating in it directly as a trans or intersex community member, is just this like that I would really love for them to feel this like profound sense of brilliance and liberation and freeness that I see so often in trans and intersex people, just really embodied through this artwork and through the ways that we talk about all of our experiences, whether painful, whether joyful, whether silly, or just really, really sweet in our own community spaces. Thanks so much, Transgender Wellness, for talking with me today about the incredible work that Gender Unbound is doing and has been doing. We are so happy and excited to celebrate year 5 with all of y'all, even in these kind of more peculiar circumstances. But I really look forward to seeing y'all hopefully at our live streams, and also in our virtual gallery space. Again, you can find all of these details at our website, genderunbound.org. We're also on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and Instagram. If you just search Gender Unbound or Gender Unbound Art Fest on those platforms, you should come up. You should see our logo come up. Thanks again. Really, really happy to have gotten this opportunity, and continue taking care of each other.